And there is Dillian the Body Snatcher White stating that he's always up for an Anthony Joshua scrap. He would love that fight. He can give me a call. I will fight him on the drop of a dime. But for me personally, I think he's finished. Those are the words of Dillian the Body Snatcher White, and let me counterpunch. Well, I would have started with I think he's finished. Not promote the idea of fighting AJ. Now, I know that is a loss for Dillian White. I mean, he's avenged the Povetkin fight. He didn't get the opportunity with Tyson Fury, but, you know, AJ, if Dillian White could beat AJ in a fight, I think that would complete his career. You know what I mean? Based on the fact that, you know, the amount of guys that beat him versus who he beat. Because Dillian White, believe it or not, has still one of the best resumes in the business. A lot of people still don't recognize that or have forgot that, right? But Dillian White has one of the best resumes out there, okay? So, you know, it's like, you know, if he fought AJ and beat him, I think, honestly, you know, he's pretty much putting his foot in his own mouth, because if you think he's finished and then you go out and beat him, then nobody would really care, because you pretty much, like, demoted the idea of fighting AJ or beating AJ if you already think he's finished. See what I mean? Like, you think he's finished, then you beat him, or you get the fight, then you beat him, then what? Now, if he beats you, well, obviously he's not finished beating your ass, but, you know, you can't beat him, and then it makes you look worse. But if you beat him, I mean, would that really make you look any better? You know, no, not really. You know, because you've already stated how, or demoted how he's declined. He's no se divide that much, to the point where I think he's finished, you know. So why would you want to fight him? Or do you only want to fight people that you think that are finished? You know, you never promote a fighter down that you claim you want to get in the ring with. You know what I mean? Or you're open to the idea of fighting. But I think that was just a low-key diss for Dillian White, though. Honestly, I think it was a low-key diss. I think it was like, hey, yeah, you know what? I think he's finished. I'd fight him, but I think he's done. You know what I mean? And that would be just it. Not, oh, well, I'm always ready to fight. Give me a call. You know, I'm always down. But I think he's finished. I think he marketed that wrong, honestly. But me personally, I don't want to see a damn rematch between Dillian White and Anthony Joshua. And, you know, Eddie will push it because he's, you know, of course, he promotes AJ and he's very close. And he did promote Dillian White for a long time. And, you know, that fight could be easily made. I get it, but nobody wants to see that shit. I know I don't. You know what I mean? I don't want to see that shit. The only rivalry locally I want to see is Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. I don't want to see anything else. And then the only reason I want to see that is because they never fought before. You know what I mean? I want new, fresh fights. Or I want fights that either, if you can't have fresh fights, let's have fights that should have been made a long time ago but are eventually getting made now. At least they're getting made. You know what I mean? Because they've never fought before. Versus a fight that we've already saw. And then there's a rematch of something that we've already saw. I'm sick of that shit. You know what I mean? I'm sick of the promotion. I'm sick of people talking about Dillian White versus Anthony Joshua. I would rather see Dillian White versus Luis Ortiz before that, because they've never fought before. You know what I mean? That's the whole problem. That's the whole thing. And strange things happen when you've never seen it before. New things happen when you've never seen it before, because it's new. You don't know what the hell will happen in that ring. That's the beauty of it. That's why when people seen that Dillian White signed on to fight Alexander Povetkin, people were like, oh, man, that's going to be a good fight. But then what was the outcome versus the expectation? The expectation was Dillian White, which he was doing, was beating the shit out of Alexander Povetkin. But what ultimately happened? Povetkin knocked Dillian White out cold. See, that's the power of fighting a new, fresh, an uncharted challenger. Because you don't know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Right? That's exactly what it's about. So you don't know what could happen in a fight like that. You know what I mean? So if Dillian White, you know, because all you hear him say is fights that already happened. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't care for that. Dillian White should be calling out guys that are on top right now, not old school guys, because it's almost like he's staying in his lane. If you really think about it, the guys that he talks about, like, oh, I'm open to an AJ fight, or we can get it on, man, and we can do this, and you know what I mean. He's not, like, he mentioned Dubois, but he's, like, why would you take time to mention AJ if you think he's finished? You know what I mean? And if you think he's finished, who isn't finished? That's what he could have concluded with. Like, hey, I know it's just that paragraph, but it's like, it almost comes off like, well, wait a minute, dude. Who else isn't finished? Who else would you like to fight besides someone you think's finished? See, if we dissect these conversations that these guys are saying and what they're talking about, you can really, it really reveals a lot, But yeah, Dillian White saying that AJ's finished. Okay, well, don't fight someone that you think's that's finished, because it comes off like you're just trying to finish someone off that's already done, But I would like to see Dillian White in there with somebody else, like a Daniel Dubois. I always wanted to see him fight Daniel Dubois. You know what I mean? Or a Joseph Parker rematch, So, like, things like that could happen, because Joseph Parker has been beaten by Dillian White and Joe Joyce. So, yeah, he would probably want to backtrack and right some of his wrongs. And, fortunately for Dillian White, he's one of the wrongs. So, yeah, guys like that I would be calling out, not AJ. But you guys tell me what you think of Dillian White stating that he is open to a fight with AJ. Just give him a call. Buddy thinks he's finished. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!